Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I will be talking about the rest of the season for Manchester City. This includes the Premier League but also the Champions League and the FA Cup. So I will be talking about all competitions in this video. In this video I'll be talking about the tactics and also about my predictions for those competitions. I will also be talking about what I dislike about current tactics and players who have disappointed me so far this season and what I expect for the rest of it. So let me show you my screen here really quick. Come on, there you go. Now it works. Sometimes it bugs out, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know what makes it work and what makes it not work. But, well, now it works, there we go. Anyhow, so what can we expect for the rest of the season? This is assuming that everyone is fit. We can probably expect Foden and De Bruyne to rotate quite heavily. And Foden to either start in midfield or start twice with Silva in midfield. This is probably what we should be expecting for the rest of the season. If Grealish manages to stay fit, we should be expecting him to start pretty much every game, with Alvarez, Doku and Bob probably playing in his position occasionally. And for the bigger games, we should just be expecting this. Now, what does this actually look like in a game? When we defend, we fall back into a 4-4-2. This is something that we did into the treble winning season, and it's something that we are doing now. And I like it. I like 4-4-2 defending. It's very compact. It usually works. And if you do it well, it works. And from defense, we transition into an attacking formation, which is more a 3-2-2-3, I suppose. It's the box midfield that we've seen all season long and that we saw in the treble winning season. And that looks more like this, with Stones pushing up into midfield. And then you have Diaz here. You'll have your wingers over here. And your fullbacks over here. This is just the basic tactics of Manchester City. However, our fullbacks have been pushing up all season long. If we are being realistic, Pep is probably not going to change his mind, and the wingers are probably going to keep tugging in as they have done all season long. So, realistically, this is probably what we can expect. With Kovacic maybe dropping deeper to allow Rodri to drive forward. Rodri has some playmaking skills, so he has value going forward, and Kovacic can keep down the line when he stays behind. But this is generally what we should expect. The players that will be playing aren't the biggest problem. We can bring De Bruyne on for Foden or De Bruyne for Silva, and then we put Foden on Silva's position, or we can bring Alvarez on for Haaland or Grealish. That's not that big of a deal. This is the system that we'll be playing. The players will be different from game to game. I'm pretty sure Ederson is injured right now, so it'll probably be Ortega for most or rest of the season, unless Ederson comes back from injury. But that also doesn't matter that much. We probably won't be seeing a lot of Guardiola, Lewis and Gomez. Well, I already forgot Gomez existed, so of course not. Lewis will probably be taking Walker's position soon. I don't think Walker has long left at this club. But I think that for the rest of the season, Walker will probably be playing. Guardiola will be playing on the left wing when Ake needs to rest, but that's about it, I think. Akanji is going to play in Walker's position as well as just a centre half when we need him to. And De Bruyne, Doku and Alvarez will play at different points for any of the players that are currently on the pitch in this system. Now, I do not like this system. I have criticized it heavily all season long. I think that it leaves us too vulnerable when defending. Like, look at this. This is a monstrosity. One good long ball and we are done. We have seen it all season long. One good long ball, Manchester City is dead. And that isn't going to change. So, with that said, what do I think about the rest of the season? With that in mind, we are going to play that. we'll talk about the Premier League first, because that's the easiest to talk about, it's the easiest to predict. Champions League and FA Cup, not so much. When we come back from international break, and I'll only be doing Manchester City, Liverpool and Arsenal, by the way, I don't care about the rest. When we come back from the international break, we will be playing against Arsenal. Now, I am slightly optimistic because we won against Newcastle United and we controlled the game a little bit. At the same time, we did nothing with that control and both of our goals were lucky. The service Haaland got was again abysmal because we just don't pass to him. For some reason, we don't pass to the best striker in the world. Perhaps strategies for you. And we are just so vulnerable on counter-attack. Arsenal will be able to exploit that. Newcastle wasn't able to exploit that. So what do I think of the Arsenal game? I think City are favourites to win that game, but it's by a very small margin. However, as an optimistic Manchester City fan, which I am not, I shall decide that City win narrowly 2-1. And let's be honest, Liverpool is not dropping points to Brighton. They have been abysmal this season. Oh, not 30 for Brighton. There we go. And we'll come back to these games that we need to, these games that still need to be played later. This is just Chelsea, I don't care about you. But yeah, we'll come back to this later. Now, next week, oh, by the way, if we go through to the semi-finals of the FA Cup, some of these games will be postponed, but let's not worry about that right now. This is just Premier League for the moment. Now, is Liverpool going to drop points against Sheffield United? No, they aren't. Neither is Arsenal going to drop points against Luton. This is the interesting one. Manchester City against Aston Villa. Arsenal and Aston Villa are our biggest games left. If we win those two games, we could go on a 10-game run. I believe if we win those two games, we could go on a 10-game run. We are extremely vulnerable on counter-attack, but if we just get our heads into it and we win these two games, we will have momentum, we have experience. Liverpool barely has experience. Most of their Premier League winning team is like dead in their legs, so their best players, like Szoboszlai for example, he's been sent out, or Nunez, most of their best players don't have experience. The only experienced players in that Liverpool team are Van Dijk and Salah. That's really it. Trent, I suppose, but he's not good, so I don't care about Trent. That's it for Liverpool. As far as experience goes, Manchester City has most of it. If Manchester City can beat Arsenal and Aston Villa, I think we go on a 10-game run. So I will be very optimistic here and give Manchester City another 2-1 win against Aston Villa. And I don't trust us to keep clean sheets, by the way. Now, playing away to Crystal Palace, this should be routine, this should be easy. We also dropped points against Crystal Palace, so who can say really? Brighton against Arsenal, I don't think Arsenal is dropping points against them. And this is an interesting fixture. Let's talk about this. Liverpool lost to Manchester United in the FA Cup, as we all know. Last week at Old Trafford. Well, last week for me while I'm recording this. I don't know when you are watching this. So, we could say, oh yeah, United have done them. Let's also be honest, they aren't winning twice. So, I'm predicting Liverpool to bam this lot. And let's go to the next week then. Liverpool have Crystal Palace, which I think they should be able to beat Crystal Palace. Have Luton Town, which is routine. Now Arsenal, where are you? Has Aston Villa. They have already lost against Aston Villa, so have we. And they were poor in that Aston Villa game, so were we. But we have more quality at home, I think, or an improvement while we play at home compared to Arsenal. Now, do I think Arsenal is going to lose? No, because Aston Villa has dropped off significantly. But Unai Emery has a point to prove when playing against Arsenal. So I am going to predict that Unai Emery gets away with a draw and takes points off of Arsenal. Okay. I'm skipping ahead here almost. Yeah, this is the big one. Let's not talk about that yet. Arsenal against Wolves, that should be routine. And Fulham, Liverpool, that should also be routine. We are cursed at the Tottenham Stadium. We all know that. However, Tottenham no longer plays in that same manner. In the past, Tottenham played off of the counter-attack. And Postecoglou came in, and Ange doesn't really have a system of play. It's try to keep the ball fair and then try to win on the counter-attack. That's because he's a trash manager. He's just overrated like all the other Tottenham managers. Anyhow, let's not get into that debate. We will at Tottenham. I don't care if it's 3-0 or 1-2 or 5-6. We're going to win. So I predict a narrow Manchester City victory at Tottenham. Now, on to the 35th game week already. Where is Manchester City? Here. Yo. Manchester City against Nottingham Forest. For me, this should be a routine. Now, this is also a big one for Arsenal. It's a derby and it's at Tottenham. Arsenal have been really poor this season in London derbies. You know what? I'm predicting Arsenal to lose this game. I'm predicting Arsenal to lose the derby in London because they have been poor all season long in London derbies. And this is against Tottenham, their biggest rival. And it's at the business end of the season. You've already seen Arsenal at the business end of the season, very poor. So yeah, I'll predict Arsenal lose this. West Ham against Liverpool, that should be routine. Man, Liverpool really have easy fixtures left. I say as they play Tottenham this week, but well, let's talk about that in a bit. Arsenal should be routine. And City Wolves at home. Any game at the Etihad, we win, let's be honest. And Liverpool against Tottenham. This is probably the only game, except for the Aston Villa game, which is a bit later, where you can expect Liverpool to drop points. Now I don't actually think they will. I think they will win this. But I am being optimistic. I will say Liverpool draw Tottenham. I don't know why. They just dropped another stinker. Salah can't score his goal or something like that. Liverpool will draw Tottenham. I am not delusional. I'm just very optimistic. And now Manchester City is on top of the league, and voila, you can win 9-0 now. Congratulations. It's my award to you for losing to Tottenham. And this is almost the end. Now remember, we do have these games to come back to. Now City should win against Fulham and Arsenal should win against Manchester United. So on to the last game week. We have West Ham at the Etihad. So that's an instant win. Arsenal have Everton. They should win that. And Liverpool have Wolves. Now, Liverpool should beat Wolves. But Liverpool have bottled it against Wolves before in the Premier League. And this is a good Wolves team. So I will go with a 1-1 draw. I promise I'm not delusional, just very optimistic. But before we calculate, let's go back to these games, which I don't know when these games are going to be played. These games are all postponed for now. I don't know when they will be played. But, I mean, Arsenal should win this. Let's just talk about City and Liverpool here. City, if we beat Arsenal, if we beat Aston Villa, if we beat Tottenham, we will have confidence. We will be on a run. We will have momentum. I don't think this Brighton team, maybe last season's Brighton team could pose a threat. This Brighton team will not. We will beat them. Not so narrowly. We will beat them. Now, Everton and Liverpool. This is the Liverpool Derby, the Merseyside Derby, I think it's called. This is a derby, and derby games are always unpredictable, except when Chelsea plays. So, Everton, they actually have a good record against Liverpool at Goodison Park. This game might be difficult for Liverpool. They might drop points here, and if they do, that could be the points that cost them the Premier League. I will be optimistic again, and I predict Liverpool 1-1 draw against Everton, as most of the games between Liverpool and Everton at Goodison Park end up in a draw. So let's calculate that and let's see what I get with my prediction here. Now do keep in mind, I am being a bit very optimistic here. Yeah, we win the league by 5 points. Yeah, that's not happening. Yeah, penny doof. Now we win the league by 5 points. And that's not gonna happen, let's be honest here. But it might, you know. I'm being very optimistic here. I'm predicting that we win against Arsenal. That's not a given. I'm predicting that we win against Tottenham. That's not a given. And I'm predicting that we win against Aston Villa. That's also not a given. So we should probably win against Aston Villa, to be honest. They are not as good as they were in the first part of the season. I'm also predicting Liverpool to drop points at Goodison Park and at Anfield. That's maybe one of the two is going to happen, but both, I doubt it. I'm also predicting Arsenal to absolutely collapse, which I mean, it might, let's be honest. Arteta is not a good manager. He might have learned by now, but he's just not a good manager. The reason why Arsenal collapse is because Arteta is not capable to instill discipline at the end of the season to keep the nerves down. Will they collapse again? I don't know. Maybe Arteta has learned his lesson. Or maybe he hasn't. Maybe he is just trash. Whichever the case, I severely doubt that this will be the end result of the season. I don't think anyone in the Premier League this season is reaching 90 points. I think the winner of the Premier League will probably be Liverpool or Manchester City. I just don't see Arsenal doing it. They have to come and win at the Etihad, and I don't think they will. I think it will be either City with 88 points or Liverpool with 88 points. Or maybe City with 89 points or something like that. I don't think anyone is reaching 90 points. If I'm being completely honest, I don't see it happening. So, that is that for the Premier League. Now let's talk about the Champions League. You are getting pammed by Real Madrid if you keep playing this system that I have shown you earlier. If you play like this against Real Madrid, Vinicius Jr. is going to get the ball from Jude Bellingham and he's going to score 20 times passes over 2 legs. There's nothing to analyze. This is pathetic. This defending, this excuse of defending will not work against Real Madrid. If you play like this against Real Madrid, I'm going to end my watch along in the first 5 minutes. Just don't play like this against Madrid. Please, please don't play like this against Madrid. I don't think we are winning the Champions League. We do not have the quality. Well, we do have the quality on the pitch. We do not have the quality in staff right now. Pep Guardiola has absolutely, completely messed up the tactics this season. And he has remained stubborn. But for the FA Cup, we are playing a weak Chelsea team and a weak Manchester United team in the final. Or maybe even Coventry. Let's assume it's United. Now Chelsea have drawn us twice. I don't think it will be twice. We should have learned our lesson by now, right? Right? By now we should have learned our lesson. When is this FA Cup game, by the way? I don't see it. Oh, here. The 20th of April, so yeah. And it's at the Etihad. We should have learned our lesson by now. Right? We will have KDB for this game, unless he gets injured again. We should win this. We should win this. I don't see how we do not win this. Chelsea are trash. If we do not win this, I will cry all day long. We will at least win the FA Cup. That's what I predict. The Premier League, I give us a 40% chance. The Champions League, look at this. The FA Cup, Chelsea and Coventry are weak opposition. We are probably winning the FA Cup at the very least this season. So, yeah, a back-to-back treble, maybe it's on, but I don't see it happening. Primarily because I don't think we are winning the Champions League. So that's all for this video. Tell me what you think about the rest of our season down below. Tell me what you think about Erling Haaland. Has he been poor this season? Has he been great? I personally think that he has been good but underutilized. What do you think about Doku? I hate him. What do you think about some other players in the team? Have they disappointed you so far? Do you expect them to be better or worse for the end of the season? Tell me everything what you think about the rest of the Premier League season and the Champions League and FA Cup too down below in the comments. I'll see you there.